and reading her phone when the defendant doused her with gasoline and lit her on fire. The surveillance video is difficult to watch and is very disturbing, as a young woman was set ablaze and tried to put herself out while other passengers got out of the way or watched. When the train stopped and the victim was able to muster the strength to stumble on the platform, two good Samaritans put out the flames. She remains in critical condition, and we pray for the victim's recovery. Mr. Reed is charged with committing a terrorist attack against the mass transportation system, specifically the CTA, which, as most of you know, I have declared to be a part of the Project Safe Neighborhood Zone. Once our office became aware of this incident and the defendant's identity, our team and our law enforcement partners, particularly ATF and the Chicago Police Department, worked through the night to gather the evidence and help us bring swiftly the charge that we filed with the court late this morning. I'd like to thank Special Agent Chris Ammon with the ATF and his agents, as well as Superintendent Snelling and the Chicago Police Department and the Chicago Transit Authority for their incredible work and their assistance in this investigation. We will advise the court about this defendant and his criminal history and other such matters at the upcoming detention hearing, which will be this Friday at 10 a.m. in Judge McNally's courtroom. At this time, I'm going to turn things over to ATF Special Agent in Charge, Chris Ammon. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Chris Ammon. I'm the Special Agent in Charge with the ATF Chicago Field Division. As the U.S. Attorney mentioned, on Monday night, a horrific act of violence occurred aboard a CTA train at Clark and Lake. A 26-year-old woman was deliberately set on fire by Lawrence Reed in an unprovoked attack. The victim in this case is in critical condition, and our prayers are with her, her family, and everyone who is affected by this unimaginable tragedy. As the charges make clear today, violence of any kind on the CTA rail system or in our city is unacceptable and will continue to be met with the full force of the ATF, our law enforcement partners, and the United States Attorney's Office. I want to thank U.S. Attorney Andrew Boutros for his leadership and commitment to seeking justice in this case. I'd also like to extend my sincere appreciation to the Chicago Police Department and their investigative response team, their bomb and arson unit. ATF has a strong and proud partnership with the Chicago Police Department. CPD officers responded quickly to secure the scene, tend to the victim, process evidence, and then approximately 12 hours later detain Reed so that federal charges could be brought in this case. The evidence in this case will be processed and examined at the ATF National Laboratory in Maryland. Finally, let me say this. Lawrence Reed had no business being on the streets given his violent criminal history and his pending criminal cases. Reed had plenty of second chances by the criminal justice system, and as a result, you have an innocent victim in the hospital fighting for her life. Because of the swift action of CPD, ATF, and our law enforcement partners, there will be no other chances for Mr. Reed. Thank you.
We can take a couple of questions.
Can you speak a little bit to that criminal history? Was he involved in a fire at the Thompson Center or other things?
That's correct. We believe he was associated with that 2020 case at the Thompson Center.
City Hall?
That's still under investigation.
Mr. Boutros, obviously you've been able to see the surveillance video. We've not. Can you walk us through it and explain how it is that we made the determination that this was an unprovoked attack? And also, what led ultimately for you to decide that this needed to be charged in federal court rather than just in county?
Well, let me start with your second question. As the criminal history that I'm sure will be made clear at the upcoming detention hearing, this is an individual with a very long and extensive criminal history. On the state side, these are incredibly serious charges, and this is a case that now needs to be handled federally. This particular charge carries with it a life sentence, and if death were to happen to the victim, and obviously we pray and hope it does not, this would be a death-eligible case. In terms of the video evidence, obviously I want to stick to what's in the complaint itself, but we've watched the video and different angles of the video, and what we could say is this young woman was on her phone, going through her phone, minding her business, when Mr. Reed approached her and began throwing gasoline on her. And the video, if it does become public, which I suspect it will at some point, you'll be able to see exactly what occurred, but she was literally sitting down. I've seen reports that there was an altercation or that there was some kind of disagreement or argument that took place. Those statements are inaccurate and false. She was on her phone.
Are you concerned that his evident mental state could make it hard to have a terrorism charge stick?
We have a court system that deals with mental health and mental health competence, and so we know that this will go through that normal channel, and so he'll be able to avail himself of that entire sort of process, and so we have full confidence in all of that. I'm not aware of him ever being declared mentally incompetent in connection with any of the other extensive criminal history.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys for saying that.
You talked about someone, people came to the aid on the platform.
Yes.
And assisted. But can you talk about the fact that people on the train did not assist? What was, I mean, the video shows that you expressed that, but talk about what that says in your opinion, sir.
I don't want to share what it says in my opinion other than the video evidence will speak for itself. There were other people who were on the train, other people who saw what was occurring, and I can appreciate that. I'm sure people were afraid. I'm sure that people did not want to get involved. Perhaps people were afraid to get involved. But what we could say is, even as she was on the ground trying to put herself out and is rolling on the ground, desperately trying to put out the fire, no one came to her aid until she was able to get off the train and to the platform. And when she finally stumbled down, two Samaritans came and put out all the blaze that was all consuming her.
And to the CTA director,
No, we're not. No questions.
about
No, we're not.
if he was
Sir.
on a ban list, do you know if Mr. Reed was actually on a CTA ban list?
I don't believe that the CTA is taking questions, but Jason, you had a question?
I just had a question about the terrorism charge and whether that requires prosecutors to prove that he had some kind of wider motive to terrorize the community at large rather than just an attack on one person.
It doesn't, Jason, and the charge is 18 U.S.C. 1992, and so it is not a charge that I think this office may have ever brought before, so it's a new charge, but you'll see that it's a charge that has been used in other districts in connection with similar types of incidences.
The stabbing, the fatal stabbing, is that
Correct.
the same charge?
Correct.
Are there any other questions? No. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.